Greetings and salutations, Dave, or I guess technically I should call you Dead on Dave. This is Christopher Daniels.
Hey everyone, it's the Native American Tonka. Want to give a big shout out to Dead on Dave.
Dave, this is Leon White, Big Van Vader.
Dead on Dave. What's up, man? It's the coach.
Hello, this is the hardcore legend Mick Foley, and I know when I want to keep up with the latest in wrestling news from around the world, I check in with Dead on Dave Productions. He covers a wide variety of wrestling topics, including the career of the hardcore legend. Don't miss it. Dead on Productions. Yeah.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, Dead on Dave. And yes, if you find the irony in the fact that I used the Mick Foley entrance in a video where I'm going to express my discontent with Mick Foley thoughts, well, you're gonna have to figure that shit out for yourself. And no, this is not revenge for him mispronouncing, botching my channel's name. That's okay. It's not a big deal. I forgive him. But look, yeah, you guys know why we're here. You saw the title. You see all kinds of people are talking about it on the internet. There's all kinds of stuff going on with it. And I feel like crap right now. I'm sick as hell. But I was going to do my damnedest to make sure that I was here to talk about this. I'm not going to be doing Raw tonight. I'm going to take the night off, but I will do a quick show right now telling you guys my thoughts on this Mick Foley situation, because it's interesting to me. For those of you who don't know, Mick Foley has taken to Twitter to express his anger with fan anger. In fact, he took to Twitter earlier and he said, anyone claim, and I quote, anyone claiming to be a wrestling fan complaining about the finish of Sheamus and Cesaro needs to take a moment to kiss my arse. Now, there's a lot in that small little window of Twitter, 140 characters, you know? There's a lot there that I have issue with. Many, many things. But I'm not going to run Foley down for speaking up for the company that has given him yet another chance, that he's fallen back into the good graces of, that is giving his daughter a job, that's given his son a job. I'm not going to bash him for that. In fact, that's the most I'm going to bring it up right there. Because look, I understand it. He's a family guy and all of that is being said. Now, if you look at the picture, the thumbnail of this video, you'll see I put Mick Foley on either side of a smashed television. Now, the reason why I did that is because this wasn't too long ago. In fact, the video is still up on YouTube of him symbolically smashing a television with a baseball bat after he expressed on social media that he threw a brick through his television, literally threw a brick through his television after Daniel Bryan was not booked back in the Royal Rumble in 2014. What? How can you go? Look, this is where I'm going to say it. Look, to get upset about booking, it's every fan's right. It was his right in 2014, and it's our right now. We're all unbelievably passionate about wrestling. I dedicate a good portion of my life to watching, breaking down, and talking about professional wrestling. I love it. It's an escape for me. And I love being able to come on here, whether it be live or recorded, and talk to all of you and all my friends about wrestling. What I think they get right, what I think they get wrong. And I'm not even upset at the fact that Foley threw some jabs back at fans for complaining about Cesaro and Sheamus, even though the fans are 110% right, because it doesn't matter how good that match was last night, and it certainly was, it was tarnished by a horrible, horrible finish. Horrible finish that is extending a feud that nobody wants to see anymore. Now, I understand the booking logic of it. we're going to give them 7 matches, even though we already gave them 4 before. And that 7th match is going to be an epic, and they're going to beg us for more. Unfortunately, they got the wrong 2 guys doing it. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. There's been so many times where Mick Foley has spoken out in the past before he got rehired by the WWE, and even at times in spurts during all kinds of different times. He has just gone off on the WWE booking, on creative, on all kinds of things. WWE. And he's afforded that right as a fan. And it's not really right to criticize him when he's just voicing an opinion. But when he goes out of his way to tweet out to his fans of wrestling, to his fans of the Raw product, to his personal fans of the Mick Foley brand, of Mick Foley, the man who has complained and thrown a brick and symbolically used a baseball bat to smash televisions, it's not okay for him to, 1, call out fans in this manner, and 2, use the absolute cheapest, worst, and probably weakest argument you can possibly make. Let's go back to the tweet where he says, anyone claiming to be a wrestling fan. This is such a weak argument to throw everybody's argument under the bus. And if you're making an argument against, if you're making a complaint against, if you're critiquing the product, then obviously you're not a true wrestling fan. That's what Mick Foley is saying here. I don't know if this is a work. I don't know if this is Mick Foley doing his job as a Raw general manager because there's going to be some changes with his character. We've seen some weird stuff going on with his character and, you know, the Stephanie McMahon thing and all of that. And a lot of his tweets are kayfabe related, kayfabe induced. You know, we do see that. It's not like it's not. In fact, he tweeted out a little bit after about having to have a talk with Stephanie after a video was released of her leaving with Triple H later on. So, I mean, there's all of these things. There's all of these things that you can point to on why Mick Foley is wrong for criticizing fans for having an opinion. I think the worst part of it is to actually tell fans to kiss your ass. You know, it's not the same as when Hogan told everyone to stick it and all of that. That's clearly kayfabe. But to be the general manager of a product and then use the term kiss my arse, which obviously is because of the Sheamus involvement in this. I mean, I get that. I think he was trying to be cutesy, ironic, comedic because he's a comedian now, and it fell flat. I certainly don't think it's as malicious as a lot of people are going to take it. But I do think it needs to be addressed as in the wrestling community by fans because we're the ones that this matters to. We're the ones that he's addressing. We're the ones that this pertains to. So I think it's okay to quote, take this one and deal with it in-house because this is what we do. Because Mick Foley has been a part of that fanverse for so long. Mick Foley has been there, shared our angst, been the voice of reason for us. Now, there's also been times where I feel he is unfairly criticized the WWE. You know, it's pretty crazy. Steven Langerheim says Foley is working with the WWE again, so of course he has to kiss ass so they don't fire him. It's never mattered to Foley in the past, so for him to speak out against things like Flair calling him a Muppet and all of these things in the past, and to get so angry about them, but then yet again to reaffirm that they could be true, that's even worse. That's a terrible argument, Steven. You're used to making terrible arguments, so I'll forgive you for that. But terrible argument. Terrible argument. Because Foley has been... We're talking about a guy who was doing a fantastic goddamn job as an announcer, but left because he couldn't take the environment, and he was critical of that environment. So... what's changed now? And I can tell you what it is. It has nothing to do with the fact that he's working for them. It has to do with his kids. That's what I think this is about. It's more about his kids than anything else. WWE has given both his daughter and son jobs. Whether he got them the jobs or whatever, that's who cares about that. Fact is, they're all working for the WWE now. So if he is being a little bit more tolerant of things that he has called out in the past, that's completely understandable. And that would be one thing on its own. However, things are a little bit different when you take stuff to a different level and tell the fans to kiss your ass, to question whether or not they are true wrestling fans. I think my mother just called and I didn't answer. I'm pretty sure. Really? Yeah, I'm fairly certain. I'm pretty sure that was my mom's number. If Mom, if you're watching and that was you, I don't know why you'd be watching. I hope that everything's okay. Call me again because I have a feeling that was her. Anyway, I think we will take some calls because I would like to get perspective on what you guys think. Since this is a fan situation, love to hear what you guys have to say on it. So we're going to take some calls right now live on Skype. David Vancura, DAVIDVANCURA. And of course, the number 702-751-2902. Look, this is not going to be a long stream. I don't feel good. I'm sick as shit. Just trying to get through. I will not be doing Monday Night Raw tonight. I just do not feel good. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now. You got the presidential debate if you care about that. You got Monday Night Football if you care about that. So Raw, to me, this has all the makings of a throwaway show, so I will not be doing the Raw review live. However, I will be doing a little bit more of this show, and we're going to take some of your guys' thoughts on the Mick Foley situation, starting with Nick the Grip. This should be interesting. Go for it, Nick. What you got?
What's up, man? So, dude, I don't see why everybody's getting all worked up. It's Foley being Foley.
No. It's actually Foley not being Foley. That's why people are getting worked up over it. He's this is unbelievable hypocrisy. You do see that, right?
I get it, but the Foley character that we're getting right now, it completely 100% matches it.
If this is kayfabe, if this is kayfabe, which you can't prove that it is.
Even if it's not kayfabe, dude, I think you nailed it right on the head. Was it a bad taste joke? Yeah, but it was supposed to be a joke. Is he telling the rest of the audience to just, go screw yourself? No, he's just screwing around because Foley is God and he can do that.
I think you're giving him a little bit too much of leeway to say that. Look, there's nothing wrong with Mick Foley getting mad about criticism. Nothing wrong with it. But I think to question whether a fan is an actual wrestling fan, you know, and then telling them to subsequently kiss. I think the kiss my arse thing was supposed to be the joke. The rest of it, I think it was actual anger over it. But here's what I don't get. He's not booking it. He's an on-screen character only. So it just makes me wonder how much is it complete kayfabe? I don't know. I just don't think it comes off right. And if you look at his comments, fans didn't take it well. You know?
Well, and he'll probably say something about it within the next few hours.
Oh, he'll say something on Raw night. I guarantee he will address this. He will say something, yeah.
But, I mean, I don't think there should be anything to be taken by this. Did he stumble? Yeah, but does it really hurt his cred? I don't think so.
Oh, it absolutely does. Now, look, now we're even talking about something even more. It hurts his credibility. I mean, it does. I
don't think it does, man.
Hypocrisy always hurts someone's credibility. We're talking about a guy who smashed into television on YouTube because he was angry. He was angry about the product. So for him to call out fans for making a simple, obvious critique, this is not as egregious as Daniel Bryan not being in the Royal Rumble or being booked poorly in the Royal Rumble. This is
Bryan never wins and he wins every fucking match.
This is a fair criticism on a best of 7 that literally nobody wants to see anymore. And it kind of just bugs the shit out of me and it does. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and say it doesn't bother me a little bit because it does. I hate that argument. I hate well, if you're a real wrestling fan, I hate it in football. I hate it in any sports. I hate it when you're talking. I don't care if you're talking about astrophysics. Well, if you were a real fan of astrophysics, you would understand that string theory is the only way to go. That's bullshit. It's reductionist fucking rhetoric, and it doesn't work. It just proves you have no spot, you have no angle, you have no thought of your own to really attack or critique.
But I think on top of that, you have to know, I'm sure what I say you didn't, but you're coming from Mick Foley's perspective, where you're not coming out of some indie frickin' event where they're doing flips and shit all night and there's barely any storyline. It's 90% storyline in Foley's in his universe. Like, it's storyline and storyline and storyline and storyline, and a little bit of wrestling and then storyline.
Okay, that's fine and dandy, but the storyline does not include a heel Foley. If the storyline included a heel Foley that was addressing these things on a regular basis, it would make a little bit more sense, but we're not getting that. This came out of nowhere for Foley, who is a fan guy.
Because it's not kayfabe.
That's even, if it's not kayfabe, then there's an actual problem with Foley because he's being...
I'm sure that it's not kayfabe. It was him a little upset, probably a little upset at the fact that everything SmackDown does, they shit and it turns gold. And here's Raw. Look at this. I mean, seriously, look at it. And now you've got a product that Mick Foley was in during one of its greatest eras. And if they're not flipping around the ring and killing each other for the whole match, nobody gives a shit.
I don't think that's true at all. Look, there were four
when
matches.
It ends like this, and there's a storyline involved, nobody gives a fuck and everybody wants it to be done. Well, okay, maybe the matches shouldn't have happened before the series, but if those two matches didn't happen, I'd be 100% okay with that ending.
No, I disagree with it too. Look, if match 7 was on a Monday Night Raw, I think you'd have a little bit of a point. But because it was on a pay-per-view, it's a little bit different, especially when it's the first ever Raw branded pay-per-view. I think there is a problem with that. I think that you're setting a very bad precedent on a night with full of questionable booking. You know, I mean, the one easily booked thing was, it didn't matter who won, Cesaro, Sheamus. The one thing was to not extend this, and that's what they decided to do. And it makes no sense. And that's fine. I can make that criticism. That's completely fine. Foley can be upset about that criticism. But to call out fans and say that they are not actual fans unless they adhere to the WWE way of thought is fucking ridiculous. And you're daft if you don't think that doesn't hurt his credibility, because it does.
That I understand. But then you could go in a whole different direction. Because if it was kayfabe, and of course now I'm just throwing a bunch of shit out.
Yeah, you really are, man. You're desperate here. Yeah, it's wonderful.
But if it was, I was right about Rhino. But if it was kayfabe, and
everybody was right about Rhino. Go ahead.
But if it was kayfabe, and it was done on purpose, could this be the start? And you saw the smirk on Stephanie McMahon's face last night to end the pay-per-view. Was this the start of Foley and Stephanie turning heel so that when Hunter inevitably comes back, he's the face?
No, I don't think so. And I'll tell you why. You can't have both members of the authority positions, for lack of a better term, on Raw go heel at the same time again. Fans do not want to see that in the slightest. I don't know if you saw the Stephanie video afterwards with her and Triple H. Triple H isn't coming back face. Especially now that we know that Seth Rollins is face as fuck. You know, he's not just a little face. He's going to be super face the way he should have been for a long time. So that's, point. Which is fine. I like that. I like Triple H as a heel. I don't like him as a face very much. I have at times, but he's better as a heel. He's just one of those guys. So look.
Yeah, as a face, he can't really stand. He always just tells jokes. But
look, my big criticism here is calling out fans on their fandom for not. Yeah. For not shutting up about WWE booking. I think that is dangerous. And look, and like I said, I get if it has to do with him protecting his children. If that's what he thinks
that's the other thing.
I can get
Could
that.
it be that his son was involved in writing that angle?
That is a possibility. Now, that is something that I didn't even think of saying directly. I said it indirectly, but that's a possibility too. Maybe Dewey was in the back, making copies or whatever he's doing as an assistant writer, and says, hey, maybe we should extend this shit out. And someone's like, well, yeah. And then Dewey is in the back, and he goes to, is it Dewey? No, it's not Dewey. No, it's not. Wait, is it?
I don't know. There's Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Pick one.
There's one of his goddamn sons. One of his sons is the fucking writer now, and I can just imagine he sees his dad backstage, and he goes, "Dad, guess what? They're gonna use my idea. They're gonna make the situation go longer with Cesaro and Sheamus." And Mick puts his hand on his head. He's like, "Oh Christ!" And he decides to protect his son. I can totally see that happening. Totally see that.
Yeah, I mean that. But honestly, in all reality, that might be it. I don't think it's kayfabe, but I don't think it's either he's stepping up for his son or it was meant as a big fucking joke.
Regardless of what his motivations were, because of the words that he used, and especially when this is such a fan-driven passion thing like wrestling is, he deserves to be called out for it if people have an issue with it. So it is what it is. Nick, I appreciate the call, buddy.
Cool. Take it easy, man.
Good night, bud. Yeah, it's interesting, man. It's an interesting debate. And should we all just shut up? Is that what's going to make it happen? No, man. I mean, look, if Mick's being a hypocrite, if Mick is saying things that are just not acceptable because we are fans, then I think he deserves anything that he gets for it, especially because of how vocal he's been in the past. Just my opinion. If you guys are sitting here and you're having a good time, make sure you hit the like button. Also subscribe to the channel. Lots of stuff going on right now in the WWE universe, and Dead on Dave is here to make sense of it all. Let's take another call, maybe a couple more, then we're going to get up out of here. 931, you're live with Dead on Dave. What you got?
You'd think for a man who makes a living talking, he'd know how to pick his words better.
Yeah. Unless they were words that were meant to incite. And I think we might find that out on Raw. But still, even so, it's so out of left field that it doesn't make sense. He's such a fan guy. That's the thing, To go on social media and alienate your fans just doesn't make sense.
And especially, this is not the era to be saying crap like that.
No, this is really not. It's even more weird when you look at it. I follow Mick Foley. I see his tweets. I see his weird stuff that he does about guys who are no longer in the company. Talks about guys in New Japan. He talks about TNA angles. He does weird shit that doesn't make a lot of sense for a guy that you would think with a tweet like this is protecting his job. If he was protecting his job, why would he be tweeting Matt Hardy? If he was protecting his job, why would he be talking about guys who have left the company like Barrett and Cody and all these other Mizdow, Sandow, whatever, all these? Why would he be talking about these guys when they're all really just taking a big giant shit on WWE every chance that they have? So it doesn't really line up for me, the argument like, well, he's just kissing ass because he has a job. Well, he wasn't 3 weeks ago when he was talking about friggin' Sandow's debut on TNA on Twitter. He wasn't 10 days ago when he was talking about Cody Rhodes. So why does now you get to choose that he was? That doesn't make sense to me.
And honestly, this is the one time, if anything, to save his integrity, I kind of hoped that he got hacked.
No, he didn't. Unfortunately, he didn't.
and even if he was defending his son on this one, there are just some things that shouldn't be said the way they're said.
Yeah, well, look, I don't know if I agree with that necessarily. I think people can say whatever the hell they want to say, but just because you have the right to do so doesn't mean that you have the right to be shielded from criticism. Look, my mom has said this to me since I was 4 years old and through my first tantrum in a store. Do what you're big enough to do. Yes, my mom said that to a 4-year-old Dead on Dave. 100% true. She's been saying it to me my entire life. Anything that I have to say, do what you're big enough to do, which essentially means if you can put it out there, be ready to deal with the backlash. I know I'm going to get hate on this video. I know people are going to come in here and call me a fat idiot that doesn't know what I'm talking. How dare I make fun of fucking Foley? How dare I say that Foley does? No, because people aren't going to listen to the words that I'm saying anyway. But I can take that. If you guys don't think I can, please go check out the CM Punk video that I did, the live UFC CM Punk reaction show. I swear to God, if you need the definition of cancerous comments, go look at those comments. Oh my God, I get effed in the A. It's ridiculous, but I can take it. I put myself out there, and Foley has to be able to too.
And honestly, beyond tonight, I want to see exactly what type of realistic backlash this has on him.
Yeah.
For a guy, because since Mick Foley is so much about the fans, I want to see how the fan reaction will affect him for this one.
I have a feeling that he's going to get a lot of heat tonight from people who did see the tweet. I wouldn't be surprised. Where is it tonight, too? Because that does matter. That does matter. So I don't know. But it is what it is, man. You got anything else? I'm going to get up out of here. I feel like crap. I want to do this video because I'm not doing Raw tonight. So I want to at least let everybody know that I love you, and I might do a Raw review tomorrow. But the reality is this is going to be a throwaway Raw tonight. So if I'm going to, I know I've been taking shows off because I haven't been feeling good, but tonight feels like a really good night to do that because with the presidential debate, with Monday Night Football, which should be an absolute juggernaut score fest, it's going to be a throwaway Raw, especially coming off of a pay-per-view. So
I got nothing on this one. All I can say is, Mick, what the fuck is going through that fucked up head of yours?
Yeah, I don't know. Mick Foley. It's too many dives off of cages, I guess. I don't know. Old school, I appreciate the call, buddy.
Figure yourself out later.
All right, you have yourself a good night, man. Stephen Langerheim in chat. Tweet is still up, so Foley doesn't care about it. You know, you're right, and that's what makes me think that this could be kayfabe. This could be something that might be a jumping off point for a potential storyline. But even if it is, it's more about what you say that I think it's weak. I don't care that he said any of this. I just think it's fucking weak to call out fans. You're not real fans unless you eat the WWE cock, which he doesn't even do all the time while he's been hired by WWE, especially during this run. Like I just made a whole bunch of points on how he is not eating the WWE cock all the time. So for basically shut up and take it, it's just a weak argument. And people love the fans. You know, people love to be fans. People love to have opinions. And for anybody, especially a guy who is the GM of a wrestling product, to call out your fanism, you know, that's a problem. That's a problem. It's wrong to do. To say only real fans will get our booking, I can't get that. I can't get behind it. I certainly can't support it. So that's what this video is about. Andre Corbiel's in the chat, man. He says, you're absolutely right. You're right all along. You're absolutely right. Never wrong. God, I love Andre Corbiel. Man, every time I think I can't love Andre Corbiel more than I already do, I mean, I'm like bromancing like hell. Then he goes and does something like that and makes me even more fall in love with him more. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Andre. Look, guys, I'm sweating, well, like the fat guy that I am. I feel absolutely horrible. I hope you guys enjoyed this show. I'd love to hear more of your thoughts on the Mick Foley situation. You can go check me out on Discord. That's right, my Discord. I'm going to go ahead and throw my link to the Discord in the Chizat for you guys so you can use it. And you can get in there and talk to me. I might be in and out. I'm probably going to be going to sleep here shortly. But I'll be around if you want to join my Discord and talk about it. even more, you can do that. So there it is right now. It's in the Discord. That's my Discord. You can also hit me up on Twitter at DeadOnDaveV. You can become a patron on Patreon. You can do that as well. And of course, you can just like the video, subscribe to the channel. So there you go. Hope you guys had a good time. We will see you a little bit later on. We'll not be doing Raw Review Live tonight, more than likely, unless I'm not able to sleep at all, which I highly doubt because I'm so exhausted from this weekend. But thank you for all the support. I do appreciate it. And let's go out with a nice little look at Real Talk, the Metaphor Messiah. We'll see you next time. Like, subscribe, and share. And as always, if you don't have talent, have talented friends. We'll see you next time. Keep it copious. Take us out, Tommy C.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's Real Talk, the Metaphor Messiah, rapper and artist, but you know him better as the co-host of Shot from the Point Live. From the streets of Chicago to the bright lights of Las Vegas, Real Talk rocks the stage and the digital store. Hard-hitting and thought-provoking. Check out my man, Real Talk, the Metaphor Messiah. Make sure you check out his latest release, Black Mozart, along with his latest music video, Notice Me.